Welcome everyone to another edition of the State of Mars podcast, sponsored as always by our good friends at the One Media Pro, the number one live stream in the state of New Jersey for high school sports. Again, I want to wish you all a happy new year. The year 2023 is our Lord. We're going to talk about another week of Marauder Country prep athletics. We had great on the track side as a 4x400 team made the qualification for national by getting first place at the NJCTC Winter Relays. We're talking about everything from that meet as well as how basketball did down in Maryland for Governor's Challenge, how the wrestling thing did at the Cali and Powerade Invitationals, and we will also talk about if the ice hockey team will break their winless streak. Last but not least, we're going to reveal who won this week's Marauder Player of the Week award and reveal 4 new candidates for next week's award. As always, we can be found on any listening devices, whether it be an Apple, on Spotify, on Anchor, you name it, we're there. So be sure to search State of the Marauders or follow us on our social media profile at SMT Marauders to see all of our exclusive Marauder content. I know it's just me, Renato Rodriguez, class points. I was supposed to get Bendo Restelo to come on this week's episode, but traveling back from Spain, a little bit tired, a little jet lag. He'll be back next week. Don't worry, he'll be back next week. But if you're listening on Monday, you want me to pro, we're gonna live stream the game against Team City on Tuesday. I mean, sorry, not Tuesday. Today, Monday. Monday. It's today. I don't know why I said Tuesday. It's today. So listen in on the NFHS network. Watch us. It's gonna be myself and Ben. We're commentating the game live from the bar in downtown Georgia City. 4 o'clock start. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. But again, I am your host, Renato Rodriguez, class of 2010, writing solo for this week's episode. As always, even during the break, we got a lot to talk about. So let's hit up the news of the week. So make sure you download the app today, like on the State of the Marauders social media profile. Right, you click on the link, you see it to your home screen. One-stop shop for everything Marauders. We got the highlights from the Governor's Challenge victory for the basketball team up on the app right now. We also have this video going to be up soon on the app. We're also going to have, the podcast audio, links to all the live streams, including D1 Media Pro, Barnabas Health live stream for hockey. The Barn has their own live stream as well. So, got live streams going, got live stats that I'll be doing during the games, the basketball. You also got your texting service, more to play of the week, though. That's very important, right? You want to vote for your favorite Marauders. So let's see who gets to play the week. So again, make sure to download the app today. And we also have a YouTube channel, right? You're watching us. Hope if you're listening to us, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube at STM Network. But again, if you're watching us right now, send it to your friends, send it to your neighbors, send it to your prep alum. Class 2010, got a lot of prep alum out there. So make sure you're liking and subscribing for all of the latest Marauder content on YouTube at SOTM Network. And lastly, as I always mention, the Game Changer app will be having all the stats. You can find that on the app, State of Marauders app, of course. But you can also download Game Changer, and they'll also give you the stats as well. Put your email in. Pete Spiewak at Game Changer is a prep alum. I want to thank him for supporting this because, or the look at the stats live, we'll get them for free because he's paying out of his own will. So again, thank you, Pete, for that, for allowing the community pass for this. Again, make sure you follow on Game Changer. during each and every basketball game for all of the updates. Now, big news of the week. Big news. Let's give it up for Jason and Justin, the Lower twins. They helped Notre Dame win the Gator Bowl by a score of 42 top 20 country. That was a great performance by Notre Dame in general. Look at those guys. Prep alum right there supporting. They're seniors, so that might have been their last football game as a Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And for us, they end the season with 40 tackles and 3 sacks and a fumble recovery. Jason also has 29 tackles and 3 sacks. Right, they've both been huge presence for this Notre Dame defense this season. Also, want to give a quick shout out. I know he's not a prep guy, but Audric Esame, he's a great back. 95 yards against South Carolina. Jersey football representing in this contest. But again, congratulations to Jason and Justin Arnold for helping Notre Dame win the Gator Bowl. Also, we got some big news in the ice hockey alum service because we got Shane Shell. Yes, former prep ice hockey player Shane Shell, now at Division III School Hobart, #1 in the nation, E3 hockey right now. He scored the overtime winner to help them extend the winning streak. That was his 3rd goal of the year. We're going to talk more about him on the podcast. But let's just listen in and see the call.
A tired Alexander. Hobart wants to make a change here. They'll change a couple of guys. And Aquero holds on to the puck. Still has it. Right circle. Aquero in front. Score! Shane Shell, the overtime winner!
First off, that was an excellent call. Excellent call by one of the commentators of Hobart. That was excellent. The second, Shane Shell, ladies and gentlemen, in, I believe, 14 games this year, maybe a little more than that. Yes, 13 points, 3 goals, 10 assists. So let's get a round of applause for Shane Shell. Putting on performance, going to his sophomore year. Last year, he had 10 points in 15 games. This year, 13 points in 12 games. So he's making an impact for them right away. And the more he plays, maybe you might see him in the big leagues the way he's going right now. So congratulations again to Shane Shell. Last but not least, in the news of the week before we talk about what happened across the program, Prep Hockey will have the homecoming at Prudential Center, downtown Newark, on Monday, today, January 2nd. That's going to be a 6 p.m. start. Okay. Doors open at 5 o'clock. Start time is at 6 o'clock. Okay. So keep that in mind. It's also free admission, which is ridiculous. That's great. If you're going to the game, which I highly recommend you do, the spectator entrance will be on the Sky Bridge. Okay. So I've been to a lot of those games. I can tell you exactly where the Sky Bridge is. Sky Bridge is the parking lot right next to the practice ring, right? You're going to go all the way to the 4th floor, the little bridge you walk across, into Prudential that way. Free admission. And parking is $5 in the garage, which, as a Dolphin, that's a cheap deal. It's a great deal. Because usually that parking lot's $25, $35 for every. So, great. $5 park. Go in Prudential Center. And if you're a student at St. Peter's Prep, there's going to be a raffle drawing going on by prizes donated by the Prep Hockey parents. So make sure you see those Prep Hockey parents in sections 7, 8, and 9 for your potential raffle drawing. That's going to be great prizes. I mean, I've heard from Coach Roche what those prizes are. And ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you they're great prizes, you're talking about like Apple products, talking about legit products. So, you go to the game, you have a good chance of getting something great out of it. And hopefully, we'll Prep need a win. We're going to find out a little bit, but that game might be interesting. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. So now let's talk about let's see the great segue. Yes, great segue. Hockey. They do continue the winless streak. But they're in the tie though, so they're gonna need a win. Today. They're gonna need a win just to get out of the schneid. Jeez. Okay. Prep hockey is now 0-7-1. Okay. Premise Catholic, I believe, is 0-5. So this game, two winless teams gonna be very important for the Mars to handle things on home ice today, especially at Prudential Center in downtown Newark, New Jersey. But let's talk about what happened in those games for the Marauders this week. They had 3 games. They first hosted St. Joe's Montvale, and both teams were trying to feel each other out, but Logan Hughes with 13 seconds left to go, and a great feed from Shane Tobin and Luke Heimberg with secondary assist would score to make it 1-0 St. Joe's. But then a great play by Matthew January to get the shot off from the point. Joey Pacheco was right there, clean up, tie the game at 1 on the power play to start the second period. That again, Logan Hughes is too much for his Marauders team, makes it 2-1 at the end of 2. Michael Chang would seal the deal with 10:30 left. A great play by Cormaine Coral. But then the Marauders had life late. 15 seconds left. A Neil Ward off a Matt January shot that I don't know where that was going. Maybe it was an errant pass. But that one right to Neil Ward. He roofed the top shelf. 3-2. Again, Phil Pye was also on the assist. But the Marauders cannot get the win. And that was probably the best offensive performance, I would say. 44 shots on net. But Joseph Monty, so good, 42 saves in that one. Santa Petroselli allows 21 saves in the loss for the Marauders. So that was a tough break. But then the game that got really excited for me to watch was a game at Barnabas against Hutton Central. And, again, first period, both teams trying to feel each other out. But then Hutton Central, 2 goals in a minute 20. One by Joseph Polachek, and then Griffin Mile on the power play. We'll make it 2-0. Hutton Central thinking, oh, here we go again. But the Marauders would battle back. 2 goals late in the second period. Brendan Laraga of great feed from Dex Roberts and Ryan Byington winning the faceoff. And then Philip Heides, who's been tremendous this week, scores to tie the game. And this was a minute and 23 seconds between both goals. And assisted by Aiden Foha. So that was a 2-2 game at that point. But then Griffin Meyer, again, his second goal of the contest with 11 minutes to go, makes it 3-2. But on the power play, it's the sophomore. We have Philip Heides, the sophomore. Justin Gianni, the sophomore. His first goal as a varsity player. Makes it 3-3. Philip Heides and Dex Roberts on the assist. And that's how it ends. Tie. Yeah. Only 20 shots on goal for the Mars, but again, the resilience, the resilience. Had some good momentum. Played well against Joe. Should have won that one. Played decently against Huntington Central. Could have easily won that game too, but the great resilience to tie the game there. And now you're thinking, oh, okay, now they're taking against a great team in Northern Heights, number 4 in the state, and thinking, okay, coming off some good games. Maybe the Marauders were hanging there. No, they did not hang in there. They did not hang in there at all. Northern Highlands put up the 7 piece on the Marauders. Yeah, that was an ugly game, start to finish. I mean, 4 goals in the first period. Nothing to say about that. Vincenzo Campano overall, a 4-goal performance for Northern Highlands. Brent Beswick, who was just running laps around his Marauders team. He had 3 assists. I mean, there was this 1 assist that he was just literally circling around the whole offensive zone before passing it to Vincenzo Campano. That was fantastic. All 3 goals played for Northern Highlands. Sandro Petroselli, he had 7. 22 saves on the docket. But 0-7-1. All your Marauder hockey team right now. They need a win. they need a win badly. And I think this is the best chance to get it against Premise Catholic. Again, Premise is a team. They play. Marauders playing it's probably one of the toughest conferences in the country, in the Corner Conference. Premise is 0-6 in the Big North. In the Big North. I mean, come on. They've gotten blown out by Glen Rock, Riverdale, Trish. Like, come on. Marauders got to win. Is this first overall meeting for these two teams? Well, again, we'll see. See the Marauders able to get the first win today. Then they go on the road. Hope John. That's gonna be a tough commute for them. Hope John is doing relatively well this year, 4-3 overall. Marauders have won the last two matchups. Sorry, they tied the last time 4-4, and then they won the early contest 4-1. And then they come back home to take on St. Augustine. That's a very good team. South Jersey, 5-1-1 of the year. So the Marauders have two chances, I think, this week to try to get their first victory. If they don't get a victory out of any of these games this week, that's going to be a very tough slate for this Marauder team. But we're going to be positive. Yes. Don't worry, boys. Let's go. Let's go, hockey. Let's go. All right. Moving on. We now talk about the basketball team. They had some very tough wins, ladies and gentlemen. First, we're going to talk about the loss that they had because that's what happened first, obviously. We're going to talk about the loss. 2, St. Andrew's Episcopal out of Maryland. I mean, they won. They're St. Andrew's is a very good team, ladies and gentlemen. Very good. But the Marauders forced overtime. Despite not playing the best game, they forced overtime against a very good team. Nico Pena, 25 points in the contest. Jackson Tindall, 17 points in his return. Injury list, he's been out for a couple games. Richie Rosa, he's starting to step up as well. 11 points for the freshman. So great performance there. Just sucks that they couldn't get it in overtime. It felt similar to that Don Bosco game, if you guys remember, out in Elizabeth. Marauders battled, but they couldn't stop Dylan Harper, and that's what I felt like against St. Andrews. They just had some great, outstanding defense against the Marauders. And then the matchup that I really liked from this team, consolation game in the Governor's Challenge, was the game against St. Stephen's and St. Agnes of Virginia. Jackson Tindall put on a clinic, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. Richie Rosa, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. And then Mason Santiago, who hit the clutches 3. I mean, make sure you check out the highlights on my personal page at Rodriguez SVP for that. It's also going to be on the highlights on the story as well. But I mean, he did and 4. I mean, Sam Tornbe also had and 1 as well. That play by Man Santiago was clutch because Marauders are only up 2 at the time before that 3-point happened. St. Stephen's and St. Agnes were on an 8-0 run right before the end of the third quarter, and then that just helped the momentum go right back to the Marauders' way. So that was a great bounce back for the Marauders. And then the matchup that I like about even more because the in-state competition, Montclair Macklin, number 12 in the state. Both these teams are really good. Montclair Macklin, if you remember, the last time they played the Marauders was the Ray Ford 3 to win it at the buzzer. And we had more dramatics like that again, but the Marauders were able to hang on. After being down by 6 at the half, they were down 6 at the half. They responded in the third quarter, responded in the fourth quarter. Matt Kinsler, Jackson Tindall, the two senior leaders of the team, stepped up in a big way in this contest. Matt Kinsler, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals. He was named the MVP of the game. Jackson Tindall, 18 points, 12 rebounds, and a steal as well. I mean, great. Richie Rosa again, 15 points. He's starting. See, Richie's starting to be acclimated now to New Jersey basketball. He's being less careless with the ball. He's understanding the flow of the game now. Ladies, if Richie Rosa starts to be a focal point of this offense, that you got Nico, Mason, Jackson, and Matt. That's a great lineup right there with Ben Guy being the glue off the bench and starting as he starts, but he's also that glue that keeps their team together. He's not the guy gonna get you 10 points a game, but he does the dirty work for you. So great job by the Mars. 4-2 on the year. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, we're gonna have the live stream on D1 Media Pro today against Union City. That's gonna be a 4 o'clock start at the barn downtown Jersey City. So if you can't come out, make sure to watch the live stream. Ben and I will be covering the game. And then they're also going to be playing Lincoln on Wednesday at Lincoln at 6:15. And then another neutral showcase against Union Catholic at Roseville Catholic, I believe, on Saturday. So the Marauders, think about the schedule they had to start off. They had Elizabeth at home to start off, who's I think a solid team. Don Bosco's a very good team. Jonah Harper is just absolutely dominating right now. Okay, so the fact that Moore was able to keep that game close and even had a chance to win the game, really respectable. And then they beat number 12 the Immaculate. So they essentially beat 3 top 20 teams to start off the year. That's great job by the Marauders. Great job. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the wrestling team. And we had to talk about Sal Borrometti. Sal Borrometti is he's a stud as a freshman. He's really good. He absolutely dominated at the Sam Cali Invitational. We're going to talk about all the results that happened in Sam Cali. So in the round of 64, Anthony Verdi would win by pinfall. Again, the son of Anthony Verdi, the head coach. He'd win by pinfall in 152 over Jackson Weiss of Livingston. In the round of 32, Sal Borrometti would win by pinfall in 128 over Ryan Carney of St. John Vianney. Anthony Borrometti would lose by pinfall against Joey Petrello of Dumont. Lawton Harry would win by pinfall in 131 over Ryan Hornstein of Eastern Regional. Angelo Pellicci would win by tech fall 15-0 at 449 against Patrick Quinn of Paramus Catholic. Anthony Verdi would lose by decision 9-4 over Zachary Ballanti of Paramus Catholic. Carmine Marano would lose by pinfall. Carmen Marano will lose by pinfall against Aiden Duggan of Westwood. Dominic Latini would lose by decision 5-2 against Roman Martinez of Blair Academy. Martin Marinetti would win by major decision 10-2 over Michael Orlando of the Paul Catholic. That was in round 32. In round 16, Sal Borrometti again would win over Jake Holly by decision 7-3. Lawton Henry would fall by decision to Mark Anthony McGowan of Blair Academy 7-0. Angelo Pellicci would win on technical fall 15-0 to Logan Garcia of Don Bosco Prep at 3:39. Joseph Rees would win by pinfall over Cody and Nietzsche Farrell of Cedar Hall Prep at 1:22. Hudson Scove of Rubston Fairhaven would defeat Martin Marinetti at pinfall at 4 minutes. And Connor Reynolds would beat Jack Tierney of Cedar Hall Prep at 3-0. In the quarterfinals, again, Sal Borrometti would defeat Gage Summers of Delsey 6-0. Richard Grungo would beat Angelo Pellicci via pinfall at 29 seconds. Joseph Ruiz will lose to Nicholas Campagna of South Plainfield 6-2. And Daniel Elash of Paramus defeated Connor Reynolds 6-1. So the only one left in the semifinals was Sal Borrometti, and he would win. He'd defeat Jack Bergman 2-0 by decision, send himself in the finals. In the fifth place match, we had 2 fifth-place winners. Joseph Rees would beat Riley Booz of Delsey by pinfall at 1:15. And then Connor Reynolds would win over Spencer Rabicki of West Milford at 3:02. So those 2 guys got fifth place. Now in the final, will Sal get the gold? Will he get first place? He'd win. No. He'd lose in sudden victory, overtime, 4-2. Aiden Cromartie of Livingston would win over Sal. But what a performance! What a performance by Sal Borrometi. He is now making himself known across state as a top 106 wrestler. So I can't wait to see more of Sal Borrometi. I can't wait. So in the Powerade Invitational results, talk about that as well briefly. We had Jake Tallarico at 113, beating Luca Rosa of Burrell by technical fall, 15-0 at 4:37 in the first round. He would win by decision 10-6 over Tyler Capsta of Franklin in the round of 32, before losing in the round of 16 to Jaden James of Del Bar. So maybe that could be something to keep an eye on as we move forward. At 133, Kaden Riccardi would defeat Gabriel Ruggieri of Connellsville in the round of 32 by decision, before losing in the round of 16 to Scott Johnson of Muncie. You see a lot of round 16 losses, unfortunately. Donovan Chavis defeats George Malholtz of Eastside, South Carolina in the first round by decision, 7-5. He'd also win by pinfall in 250 over Wyatt Stout of Southern Regional in the round of 32, before losing to Spencer Barhart of Marvin Prep in the round of 16. At 145, Jonathan Fuller would defeat Nathan Murphy of Parkersburg South by technical fall, 16-0 at 5:28 in the first round. Then he would go on to defeat Sam Jacobs of Armstrong by pinfall of 4:48 in the round of 32, before losing to Cameron Catcherbone in the round of 16. Max Netherland would defeat Leo Marks in the round of 32 by pinfall at 110, before losing by decision again in the round of 16 to Ian Scammell of Gundy, Virginia. Last but not least, Anthony Harris at 189 would defeat Baron Leonard of Eastside, South Carolina by pinfall at 3:27 in the round of 32, before losing in the round of 16 by Roman Lawrence of Frazier. So again, good job by the wrestlers. Good job. They now have the Williamstown Duels next on Saturday, January 7th. Okay. So now, track is sending a relay to national. But before we talk about that, we got to talk about the previous event of the week, which was the Ocean Breeze Holiday Festival. In the 400-meter dash, Del Lindsay would get 7th place, going Corey Greenfield would be in 17th. And the 55-meter hurdles, Corey Greenfield ends up in 6th. In the 4x200 relay, the freshman will win at a time of 1:36.64, with the varsity getting 3rd in their race. And the 4x400 relay, the freshman will also win that one at 3:49.96. And the 4x800 relay, the varsity team got 8th place. At the pole vault, Chris Cambridge also got 8th place. Shot put for varsity, Brandon Montemayor would get 13th. And in JV, Joseph Burt would get an 8th. So now we're going to talk about the main event of the week, the NJCTC Holiday Relay at Ocean Breeze. The 4x55 shuttle hurdle relay got 3rd place. The 4x200 varsity relay got 10th place. The 4x200 freshman relay race also got 1st place. So freshmen doing a great job this week for track. They'd win at 1:36.60. And the 4x400 relay varsity team got 1st at 3:27.04. With the freshman team also getting 1st at 3:45.11. The sprint medley relay team got 5th. The 4x800 relay varsity team got 4th place. And the freshman team got 3rd place. So now, the all-important race, the 4,000-meter distance medley race. They won it at a time of 10:44.94, anchored by a record-setting time by Del Lindsay. And ladies and gentlemen, with that result, they are going to nationals. Great job by the distance medley team. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Freshman high jump. Daniel Brown got 2nd place. Karen Grayson in 3rd place. It is a freshman high jump, but they were both sophomores, so I'm very intrigued to see why sophomores are allowed in that race. I have no idea, but again, congratulations to those guys. Although Chris Cambridge got 3rd place, with Cooper LaFon at Shopper getting 11th. Next up for the Marauders, next week on Monday, they got the Hudson County Relays. So that needs to be an absolute dominant, clean sweep for the Marauders. So we'll see the results next week, probably the week after, because that'll be a Monday. Probably the week after Hudson County Relays. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for all the news of the week. But before we reveal this week's Marauder Player of the Week, we have an announcement from Student Club President Ben Novoselic of the class of 2024, who I mentioned before. He was not able to come on this week because of his jet lag, but let's listen to what he has to say to all of you. So, Ben, let's take it away.
Hey everyone, this is Junior Ben Novoselic, the president of the State of the Marauder Sports Reporters Club. If you're a student at St. Peter's Prep and you want to get involved with sports media or broadcasting, come to one of our club meetings. Dates and times of the meetings will be published on the daily announcements, but if you want more information, you can just email me at novoselicb24@students.spprep.org. We look forward to seeing you guys.
Well, thank you again to Ben for that. And remember, if you're a student at St. Peter's Prep, make sure you check us out. We have meetings in the Browning Center during community period right after homeroom every 8 day. Again, if you're interested in anything sports related, media, come to the club. We got room for anybody. So come out and join State of the Martyrs Sports Reports. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. All right, now the jury. Let's now talk about the Player of the Week award. Probably my favorite part of the broadcast and of the podcast as well. So last week we had Nico Pena for basketball, Frankie Precop for swimming, Sal Bartometti for wrestling, Ty Flop for fencing, and Andres Perez for track. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get a drum roll, please. And, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this week's Marauder Player of the Week award, who had 47% of the votes. It was a close race between him and this other guy, who I'll reveal in just a little bit. But the winner goes to Nico Pena. Congratulations to Nico. And I mean, it was a close race between him and Ty Flat of fencing. Nico had a great performance down the stretch. So, especially that game against, well, I think that was saying, I'm lost in track now. St. Andrews, right? St. Andrews, right? So he's been good. The transfer from New York coming over to New Jersey, St. Peter's Prep. So now let's talk about next week's nominees. Starting off with, again, a great week overall for the basketball team. Jackson Tyndall, the senior. Again, 2 double-doubles back-to-back. I mean, gotta be on there for that. Second, from the track team, the anchor that got them 2 nationals, Del Lindsay. Now, this guy, I know I don't like usually putting guys 2 weeks in a row, but this guy's been an absolute beast. I got to put him in there. And the wrestling team, Sal Bormetti. And last but not least, a 3-point week from this guy to help hockey get a tie and another close decision against St. Joe's Montville. It's got to be the sophomore, Philip Heides. So make sure you vote on the app. And the voting ends. I got to edit that really quick. It did not end on 12/31 this week because that was the last week's, obviously. This week, it's going to end on Saturday, January 7th of not 2022. It's going to be now 2023. So January 7th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. I'm going to reveal the winner again, as always, on next week's podcast. So make sure you vote for who you think should be this week's Marauder Player of the Week. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another episode of State of Marauders podcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Continue to spread the word of the State of Marauders podcast by sharing our social media profile at SOT Marauders to everyone you know, and continue to check them out for all other latest updates. School is going to be starting this week, so we'll get Ben back next week. We'll be back on the docket also to recap another week of Marauder action. We do not stop. Keep grinding. Thank you to everyone again, and as always, let's go. Prep.